Hey, and we are live. Hello everyone. Sorry about the delay. It's been about 5 months since the last um Dual Destinies stream. So hold on, let me just go. Sorry, I'm just setting up a couple things. Um yeah, I'm hoping to finish. We're gonna start the last episode now. We're not gonna finish it, but we're gonna try to get at least some good headway into it. Um, um, yeah. So let's without further ado. Things have just been really busy, and they will continue to be busy. But I'll try to find time here and there. We might be able to finish this episode in the next couple months. We'll see. We'll see how things go. Let's just get started anyway. So on the last episode, oh god, that's loud. Hold on. I need to adjust the volume real quick. Turn down that. How does this sound? No, that's still really loud. How about that? That's better. May 13th. Hey, Dad. Oh, I guess that's wrong. Okay, I can't worry about that right now. Okay. Is this still too loud? No, that's fine. Maybe we need to turn it up a little bit. We're just gonna start. Yeah. Episode 5, turn up for tomorrow. No one can escape their past. These sins we've committed, and the sadness we've caused. No matter how far we run, our past remains, as ever present as the moon in the sky. It looms in wait for the day when we are forced to face it. But only in doing so can we truly make peace and move on and hope towards tomorrow. December 20th, 1:23 p.m. Wright Anything Agency. They took Athena from the courtroom, straight to the station. She's probably being questioned at this very moment. So if you guys remember from last time, I know it's been almost a year now, but Athena was accused of... Well, actually, it's because we figured out that whoever killed Clay Terran, Apollo's friend, is someone who wielded the lighter, and then they found the lighter, and the fingerprints on it were Athena's. So now they think that she's the killer, yeah. She's probably being questioned this very moment. After this past year, I took it for granted that those two would always be here. But now, Paul has gone off on his own to seek his own truth. And my pursuit of the truth only ended up with Athena becoming the new suspect. Some boss I turned out to be. It's even quieter in here than usual. Yeah. Seems so empty, too. I just don't get it, Daddy. All of your reasoning during the trial seemed perfectly solid. Yeah, and I still believe it was, at least based on what we know. But now Athena's the one who's being accused. During the trial for the bombing and murder that occurred at the Cosmos Space Center, the lighter used by the real culprit was found. This lighter proved the defendant, Solomon Starbuck, innocent. But Athena's prints were found on it instead. And she was subsequently arrested for the murder. I want to say subsequently so bad. That's how it should be pronounced. But Athena couldn't have done it. It just doesn't make any sense. No, none of it does. I've been racking my brain, but I just can't figure it out. Ugh, where's the flaw in my reasoning? What if I got wrong in this case? You know, Daddy, if Athena was here, she wouldn't just be sitting around thinking. She'd be out there doing something. You are going to defend Athena, right, Daddy? Of course I will. And thanks, Trucy. I need that push. Trucy's right. The trial is tomorrow, and there's no time to waste. Tomorrow, that was fast. If I'm going to prove Athena's innocence, I'd better get out there and find some evidence. Off we go then. We're on a hunt for evidence that'll prove Athena's innocence. Great, but before we go, I'd better tie to the evidence I have on hand. Oh yeah, so we're just consolidating evidence from last episode, maybe throwing away irrelevant pieces. Yeah, unnecessary evidence left at the office. Athena's probably still in the middle of being questioned. So Trucy's right. The thing to start with is to talk to people. The thing to start with is talking to people at the Space Center. To the entrance. December 20th, Cosmos Space Center entrance. Director Cosmos, do you have a minute?
Galactic Scooter, full speed ahead!
Director... He scooted away. His expression changed the instant he saw you, Daddy. Yeah, well, I dragged his name through the mud pretty good at the trial earlier today. Okay, so let's just move again then. Boarding lounge. December 20th, Cosmos Space Center. Boarding lounge. We were here only yesterday. Oh, hey! Mr. Starbuck, you've been released, huh? Yep, and I came straight here. This is all thanks to you and your team, Mr. Wright. You've given me a second chance of flying to space again. I can't thank you enough. Except... What's wrong? I thought he'd be happy to be acquitted. As I was coming out of the detention center, I saw Miss Sykes. He saw Athena? I was at a loss for words. Ah, hey, Nick. Thanks for the lurk, dude. Are those Twitch emotes just regular, or are they like from a whatchamacallit, from a stream? I can't remember. Lagging a little bit. Let me see if I can't help that. Close everything I'm not using. Guess this is the first time I'm streaming Ace Attorney in this new apartment, so... okay. I was at a loss for words. I didn't know what to say to the poor girl. And then, you know what? She flashed the peace sign at me. Congratulations on your acquittal, she said. Now you can go back into space someday. Yeah, that sounds like Athena. I can just picture it. But I saw her eyes. They were red and swollen from crying. She's got to be suffering. She must be so worried. And yet she went out of her way to be nice and give me that big smile. She held back her own tears so she could give someone else a smile. That's so Athena. There's no question about it. That girl's innocent. Please, Mr. Wright, you have to make sure she goes free. And then they can put me in prison instead. I don't mind. We can't have that either, Mr. Starbuck. Don't worry, Mr. Starbuck. I'm going to give her the very best defense I can. I promise to get her acquitted, just like I did for you. I know she'll be alright with you in her corner. I know you'll never give up on her. Apollo's a fine boss to look up to. Let's see. About the murder, I guess. Sure. I still can't believe Launchpad 1 was... losing frames. That's not good. 1 second. Is there anything I can close in the background to prevent that? Perhaps. Oh, Origin, Steam. Sorry, 1 second. I'm just closing any background stuff. That should be all I can really manage as far as connection. There's a lot of frames missing though, but that's okay. I still can't believe Launchpad 1 was switched with the Space Museum. What could have made Director Cosmos do such a thing? I haven't the foggiest idea. So there never was going to be a launch that day, not from the very beginning. I wonder if Clay knew. I imagine he must have. Surely he would have noticed when you went to board the rocket. It's pathetic to think I was the only one who got taken in. But I guess that's about how it goes. When you're worth less than space debris. Is he going to be alright, Daddy? His expression looks as dark as a black hole. Well, that's just how he is. The murderer. Mr. Starbuck, do you remember anything about the murderer? Not really. I only saw a shadowy figure in the dark after all. Yeah, I guess that was a little too much to hope for. Hey, I heard something from the police though. They said they never did find a .10 caliber gun down that trash chute. Just as I thought. The culprit must have carried it away with him when they escaped. So, was the person you saw holding a gun, Mr. Starbuck? I couldn't really tell. But it wasn't Athena, right? Could you tell if that person was male or female, tall or short? I can't even tell you that much. Man, I'm useless. When the culprit opened the door and some light came in, I should have been able to see. The door. Ah, yes. As I recall, they opened this door here as they made their escape. The door to Launchpad 1, right? Yeah, except right now, the door leads to the Space Museum. You mean the Launchpad and the Space Museum are switched right now? Yeah, they're trying to investigate the theory you came up with in court. That's cool, so they swapped. So they're recreating the conditions, huh? I'd like to see what's beyond that door now. Mr. Starbuck, could you open this door for us? Sure. Just let me have my print scanned here. switching the launch pads. Do the launch pads get switched back and forth a lot? Well, back when the Space Museum was launch pad 2, they used to switch the pads around at times. But these days, launch pad 2 is only used as a tourist attraction, right? Right. Because, quite frankly, the Space Center needs some money. I hear you. Times sure are tough. Daddy, let's go check out what's beyond that door. Sure, let's go. Hey, why don't I come along? I can show you around. Okay, let's go in. Ooh, there's something here. Huh? I wonder what these dead leaves are doing here. Maybe they were stuck to the bottom of some of these shoes. There are lots of trees around the Space Center. She's right. It's a modern state-of-the-art building, but it's surrounded by trees. I don't know, if they were stuck to the bottom of somebody's shoes, wouldn't they look more crushed up? They don't look like they've been stepped on. Maybe there's some kind of secret hatch in the corridor, and they came in that way? Not everything is set up like a magician's stage, you know. And, you know, we have the scanner here, of course, but... So this is another one of those devices for opening the door, huh? Yep, but this one doesn't require fingerprint verification. You just hit the button and open sesame. So when you and Clay went through here, you didn't need to show your prints either? That's right, Trucy, just like how the culprit didn't need to scan their prints when they escaped back out of the Space Museum corridor into boarding lounge 2. You know, I wonder why that is for in terms of security. Probably because if you're already in the corridor or whatever, you already have clearance. Plus, if we're to assume, I mean, you know, I mean, this is the Space Museum corridor, but if, yeah, if we're to assume it was this way during the thing, yeah, it would have been the Space Museum corridor, but the reason probably is you're gonna have guests coming out there to go back down to the boarding lounge, aka to the ground level. So I guess you couldn't have any fingerprint authentication because people like guests don't have authorized fingerprints on the system. Launchpad 1 door lock updated in the core record. Well, I don't see anything else that jumps out at me. And I imagine this corridor is built exactly like the Launchpad 1 corridor. No. Let's go to the entrance again, I suppose. Yeah, okay. December 20th, Cosmos Space Center. Entrance.
Curse the wretch who sullied my good name! Reverse course and full speed away!
Director Cosmos, wait! I'll handle this, Daddy. Take that!
God! The mobility system has been compromised!
Trucy's knife throw was a direct hit to one of his tires. That's a crime, isn't it? Jesus. And the streak continues. Maybe I should have kept a closer watch on what tricks she's been practicing.
My dear old battleship! We've fought many a skirmish together. It has been an honor.
Daddy, he's going to blow that thing up! I bet all that button will do is make it go haywire again.
Very well. I surrender. As a prisoner of war, I expect to be treated honorably.
Oh my god. Okay. Switching the launch pads. He's so dramatic and I love it. Director Cosmos, when you were talking in court about switching the launch pads, you used your right to remain silent about the reason as to why. I'd like Director Cosmos to tell us why he switched the two launch pads to begin with.
Please, I can't. I exercise my right to remain silent. But I will say my hands were tied. I was only doing what I could to keep my men from getting caught in that blast. The center of the cosmos. The center of the cosmos is shrouded in mystery, but I don't have any secrets left. Now that my battleship has been destroyed and I've been taken prisoner.
Huh? No secrets left, huh? I beg to differ. Looks like I'll have to undo his cyclock, so I want to get to the bottom of this. We have 3. I don't think we have the evidence on hand to try, but let's try anyway. Take that! Behind the switching of the launch pads. I want you to tell me everything you're hiding about the switching of the 2 launch pads.
I refuse! You can't make me! I can hold out longer than anyone.
I hope I never get like this when I'm old. Now, let's see. Where to start? This is how you explain your motive. This is how you explained your motive for switching the launch pads. You did it to save the astronauts. Thanks to you switching the launch pads, the astronauts escaped injury from the blast. Instead, they safely boarded the museum's rocket far away from the actual explosion.
My astronauts were raring to go out on an authentic adventure in space. How do you propose I had them board a fake rocket without them noticing?
I agree you couldn't have done it without help. For one, they would have figured it out the instant they stepped into the Space Museum. You figured you could fool Mr. Starbuck once he'd been drugged with his medication, but without the help of this person, it would have been impossible to pull your plan off. Well, the other guy who would have been aware of this fact. Take that! You must have gotten Mr. Terran to help you. He stole the tranquilizers from his mentor's locker and slipped them to him. And then with Mr. Starbuck in a daze, they boarded the replica rocket in the museum.
Someone please help this poor prisoner of war!
How was he able to spin around like that? Especially with his wheel, or his tire, like, burst or whatever. If you really wanted to save the astronauts' lives, shouldn't you have just called off the launch?
If I could have done that, do you think I would have gone to all that trouble?
I guess he must have had a compelling reason why he couldn't call it off. But how did you know to switch the pads in advance of the bombing incident?
Well, that's because I was warned in advance. Once I received that warning, it was my duty to ensure that my astronauts' safety.
But it was just a warning. It could have even been a prank. It could even have been a prank. Why'd you believe it so completely?
Because I went to one of those mediums that everyone's talking about these days.
Great. Oh, I didn't realize channeling was back in vogue. Besides, I thought it was you yourself that got the warning via telephone.
Yes, that's right. The bomber contacted me personally. My battleship is equipped with a special advanced communication system, you see.
AKA a regular old telephone.
It's been a while. Planning another launch? I see you haven't learned. I'll never forget the terror I felt when I received that call.
The bomber said it's been a while, and that was enough to make you take the threat seriously? Perhaps Director Cosmos took the threat so seriously because the Space Center had been involved in a bombing once before. Maybe the culprit in the current case is the same one who was involved in this incident. Well, so we know it had to have been something with the Space Center. One second, sorry, I need to respond to this real quick. Sorry, for whatever reason it's not displaying on my follow thing, but, oh. Thank you, Sligo707. For donating all those. All the, follows. That's very, or sub-tiers. Thank you. That's very kind of you. And, And, sorry, it's playing now. I don't know why it's not on the display, though. But, yeah, I very much appreciate that. And also, thank you for the follow. Wait. I don't see the follow. Never mind. Okay. That was very kind of you. Thank you for, like, what was it, 5 or 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Thank you. I wonder if that gives you yourself, too. Okay. Well, so we know the bombing has to be related to the Space Center. So it can't be courtroom number 4 bombing. I can't remember. Do we know about the Hat One miracle yet? Do we? I don't think we do. Oh, a full size up with the Hat One, and important items are related to space exploration and the Hat explosion. No, I don't think we do. Oh, I think we vaguely heard of it. It was like the expedition where the guy got stranded, I think. But I could be wrong. Let's see. Well, it has to be a bombing, though, so the Hat 2 bombing. The Hat 2 bombing. That must be where the answer to your secret lies. Or maybe not.
All hands, ready the Galactic Scooter's main turrets! Jesus, blockhead! What a precision shot is all about!
You got me! I guess I was way off on that one. Now, let's see. The culprit in the current case is the same one the person who was involved in this incident. So it has to be related to the Space Center, so the Hat One miracle then? But I thought that was due to engine failure. Did we even learn about that? I think we did. Let's just say the Hat One miracle. The Hat One miracle, that epic story of survival. People across the nation know it now as a heroic tale of bravery. But in truth, it was an act of sabotage perpetrated by our current killer, wasn't it? Oh, an extrapolation that it wasn't an accident, right? Very few knew about the previous plot, so when the caller said, "It's been a while," you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that the danger was real, and that it wasn't a prank.
God, didn't anyone ever tell you to go easy on an ex-serviceman? Yes, the Hat One miracle was really a desperate battle against an act of sabotage. I even lost the life of one of my staff members in the fight.
Sabotage, murder. So this is the ugly truth behind the Hat One miracle. So that was all a bluff, really. I mean, we couldn't confirm that exactly, but I guess we just knew that it was a previous event related to the space. Oh yeah, I guess the Hat 2 bombing was literally what just happened. So of course, I basically just answered earlier. The wrong answer was the person responsible for this bombing is also related to a previous incident of this one. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Anyway, sabotage, murder. So this is the ugly truth behind the Hat One miracle.
I let my guard down. I thought the saboteur had been caught, and that the case was closed.
Huh? Wait a minute. The murder at the Space Center 7 years ago. This must be the person Dr. Cosmos thought was the culprit. Or this must be the person. Wait. Do we even know? Oh, that's right. So if we remember, Prosecutor Blackwell is in jail on death row, but he's a prosecutor still for some reason. But anyway, it doesn't matter. His crime was a murder at the Space Center 7 years ago. Oh, so everything's all interconnected. So that's what... This person must be the person Dr. Cosmos thought was the culprit. Take that! Simon Blackwell, the murder suspect in a case that happened here 7 years ago. The place and time of the two incidents, the murder and the sabotage, were the same. So you thought that he committed both crimes. But while Prosecutor Blackwell was behind bars, you got another threatening call. If the culprit this time is the same as 7 years ago, then it isn't Simon Blackwell. Ah. Realizing that, you were shaken. It meant the true culprit's been running free all this time.
How do you keep seeing straight through me?
Nice. Do we no. Unlock successful? Oh no, we didn't. Okay, so none of that was for health stakes. Okay. Switching the launch pads. The reason why Director Cosmos won't talk about why he switched the launch pads is connected to the truth behind the Hat 1 miracle. The sabotage and murder that happened at this space center 7 years ago. Director Cosmos, tell us what you're hiding.
If you really want to understand the reason I decided to switch the launch pads, we'll have to start with the story of that horrible nightmare from 7 years ago.
Okay. 7 years ago. You mean the so-called Hat 1 miracle? Okay, let's see.
The launch went smoothly, but once the ship entered outer space, then the troubles began. It was all the handiwork of a certain person, their evil scheme.
So Mr. Starbuck's traumatic experience wasn't accidental.
Not only that, but before the launch, a very valuable piece of moon rock was stolen. But that wasn't the worst of it. One of my staff members was murdered.
Wow. I had no idea such awful events were behind that exciting story of space heroism.
All that in spite of the Space Center having very strict security in those days. All personal effects were examined thoroughly, coming or going.
Front page where... Oh, okay, bot. Alright. Right? Hi, I want to offer promotion to your channel viewers. Chatbots, the price is lower than... Yeah. I've seen these kinds of messages before. Thank you for the offer, but... No, thank you.
You couldn't even smuggle a withered old leaf through those checkpoints.
So, do you have any clue who was responsible for the sabotage?
At the very least, I know it wasn't Simon Blackwell. I don't know enough to identify the true culprit, but it's clear what that person is.
Or was. Maybe was. Probably that makes more sense with verb tense agreement.
To put it simply, a spy.
A spy? You mean somebody who infiltrates a foreign country, carries out dangerous missions, and always gets the girl? Someone's watching way too many late-night movies. Well, I guess if we're talking about blowing up a rocket and stealing research material, it's not all that surprising that a spy could be behind it all. Okay, now we have... This is more interesting, a spy. So, we have a spy on our hands.
Make no mistake, there's cutthroat rivalry between nations in the space R&D race. Some try to outdo others by any means possible, even deliberate obstruction. 7 years ago, we got a call before the launch warning us of sabotage.
The same memo as this time.
Yes, and here I thought the perpetrator had been caught, but it looks like I was wrong.
Prosecutor Blackwell seems more like a ninja than a spy, don't you think? Aren't ninjas and spies basically the same thing? But I think ninjas are more personal. Spies usually serve a greater like, not greater purpose, but serve a purpose to someone or something higher than them. And if that's the case for a ninja, as far as serving something higher than them, I would say that's probably more ideological or abstract.
There's a good reason we failed to find the real spy. A massive cover-up by the government. Government officials were too embarrassed to admit that they had allowed such a thing to happen at the hands of a spy.
Don't tell me they made the police rush the investigation.
They did indeed. And then to cover up the sabotage, they cleaned up the story.
Wait. And that was the Hat one miracle, was it? Hat one miracle, wasn't it? But then, 7 years later, the same MO, advance warning of sabotage. That must have been the director's reason for switching the launch pads. One second, sorry. That must have been the director's reason for switching the launch pads. Just like 7 years ago. 7 years ago, the spy gave you advance warning of their plans, just like this time. That was what made you decide to switch the launch pads, wasn't it?
That's right. The caller knew the facts of the case 7 years ago, despite the cover-up. They knew about the sabotage, the moon rock, the murder, and they said, "You don't want things to go like they did 7 years ago, do you?" I immediately thought of calling off the launch, but the government wouldn't let me. We don't give in to the likes of terrorists. We must proceed for our country's honor.
Hello, JJJJJJ 2727. Wait, I think I might have an idea as to who that is. Yeah, I think I might. Thank you for the follow. Sorry. And I like the Minecraft emote.
We don't give in to the likes of terrorists. We must proceed for our country's honor. It is quite a moving speech, actually.
Moving? Really? Maybe if you're easily inspired by political talking points.
But I knew the truth. We had been warned, which meant that the danger was very real. And I knew there was no way to stop the spy, no matter what I did. No matter what I did, they would find a way.
Happy to have you as a first-time chatter. Hope you enjoy the show so far. So right now what we're doing is investigating a murder. One of our colleagues is accused. Someone working at our office, so we're trying to get them acquitted of the charges. And we find out that this space center 7 years ago had a sabotage in on their rocket. It was bombed by a spy, and now a similar incident almost happened. And so we're kind of trying to link the two events and maybe hopefully use that to find clues as to who the murderer would be.
That's why I switched the launch pads and staged the moving rescue scene. First, I snuck into the center the night before, and switched the launch pads. That way, the astronauts would go from boarding lounge 1 to the Space Museum. Then, I put a "closed for repair" sign at the door of launch pad 1 and boarding lounge 2.
You did that so normal visitors wouldn't enter, right? What else did you do?
I enlisted the help of several staff members, including Taryn.
But you didn't let Mr. Starbuck in on it?
He'd already been through enough, and he's no good at lying to keep a secret. I'm afraid I had no choice but to have him drugged. My plan went well until...
Clay's murder, huh?
After the culprit made their escape, I switched the launch pads back. I did it in such a way that no one would find out. But after all that effort, Taryn is dead and the hat too is destroyed. And the Hope capsule, which had returned to us only recently, was also lost in that blast. My home. The center of the cosmos. My beautiful Cosmos Space Center is done for.
Wait, what do you mean by the Hope capsule was lost in that blast? Oh wait, yeah, the Hope capsule. What is that even? Wasn't that associated with the miracle or whatever? I thought the Hope capsule was found at the crime scene with Mr. Taryn. Oh yeah, that too. It was like in a picture or whatever. It had just been brought back by the Hope space probe with asteroid samples inside. So what kind of samples are they? What's in them? Let me, guys, by the way, know if any volume changes need to be made to the game, to my voice, or like, do I need to turn myself down, or if there's any background noise that maybe could be mitigated somehow. These samples are scheduled for analysis in the near future. We haven't had time since they just came back the day before Terran's murder. The capsule was being held in a safe in Launchpad 1. So the blast that still went off or whatever. Oh wait, what? Oh, wait. But I gave it to Terran before the incident so it wouldn't be destroyed in the explosion. Oh yeah. The idea was that, with it safely in Terran's possession, he could make it look like he rescued it during the staged miraculous escape. But our precious research materials ended up lost to that explosion anyway. But I thought Clay was supposed to keep it safe. You misunderstand. The launchpad explosion wasn't the one the capsule was lost to. It was lost after the police confiscated it as evidence. Wait. It was the courtroom bombing from the other day. Uh-oh. Hi, Gray. Good to see you. I hope you enjoy some of the show if you want to stick around. Just watch out, there might be spoilers, but you'll probably forget it by the time we cover this game, so... And we still have a little bit of ways to go, yeah. The capsule was there in the courtroom as evidence. It was blown to smithereens! Just a fair warning, there will be some spoilers, Gray, okay. Yet another casualty of that blast. Ultimately, I think the culprit may have known about the switching of the launch pads. What? How? The police found a wiretapping device during their investigation today. A bug aboard my battleship. A tap on my advanced communications system. Remind you of the wiretap from the first game, Gray? It's like a callback. A wire on that phone? Yes, a wire on this very phone. I use this phone to give instructions to my staff with the launchpad switch. Just to the few select members who knew about the plan. Just before the incident, staff members were coming in and out of Launchpad 1. The culprit probably slipped in with them amid the confusion. And planted the bomb then. Yes, if they were tapping your phone, they definitely could pull something. Oh, wait, oh, is that called it? And slipped in then. Yes, if they were tapping your phone, they definitely could pull something like that off. So you really think the same spy is behind this incident and the one 7 years ago? Yes, I'm sure of it. Then the spy must be the phantom Prosecutor Blackwell's been chasing. The Prosecutor Blackwell told me once. The hunt I've been on for the phantom of 7 years past continues even still. Yeah. For starters, that case happened right here at this very space center too. So if we can find this phantom, that's right, we can clear Athena's name. And then there's the matter of Prosecutor Blackwell too. What about him? Well, if the culprit of 7 years ago is the same person as in the current incident, it would mean Prosecutor Blackwell is innocent. That's still an if, though. I wonder how dangerous that guy would be in court without handcuffs. But if we're going on a ghost hunt, count me in.
It's all over for me. Spin, whirl, I'm done for. The centrally cosmos is doomed.
Do you think he's going to be alright, Daddy? Well, at least he'll be in good company. There must be planets out there he can spin with. Which reminds me, I'd like to delve a little deeper into the Hat 1 mission too.
If you want to learn more, start at the Space Museum. There's a Hat 1 exhibit there. Oh, don't mind me, I'll just keep spinning here and see how the cosmos unfolds.
It's like he achieved spiritual enlightenment or something. I'm sure he'll stop when he gets dizzy. Yeah, I'm sure he'll stop when he gets dizzy. Let's go visit the Space Museum. Space Museum. Here we go. December 20th, Cosmos Space Center, Space Museum. Let's see. Where's the exhibit only launched 7 years ago? There. That's the Hat 1 exhibit. Oh wow, look at that photo of the team! There's Clay, and Mrs. Starbuck, Dr. Cosmos, Bora Blackwell, and even Ponko. But I've never seen the woman on the right before. Everybody looks so happy! Well, except for Director Cosmos. That's probably his way of showing happiness. I think the thumbs up is pretty indicative. Let's check out the newspaper article too. Hat 1 launch imminent. And there's a photo of the Hope space probe. Hat 1, oh, sorry. I guess only Natural doesn't talk about the murder or the sabotage. They really were keeping it a secret, just like the director said. Daddy, take a look at that jacket. It must be the Hat 1 team's uniform jacket. It's the same design as the one Apollo was wearing. The one that belonged to Clay. Actual jacket worn by a Hat 1 team member, it says. Not a replica, huh? I wonder if this was a Starbucks. Hat 1 exhibit added to the court record. Whoops. Who is this? Hello. Oh, Miss Woods! What brings you here? I heard Dana got arrested, so I've been looking for you, Mr. Wright. I thought you might be here at this scene. You must be so worried, but rest assured I'm going to do my very best to defend her. Dana's going through such a hard time. I hope she doesn't lose heart. Even just coming back to this place must have been really difficult for her. Huh? You mean the Cosmos Space Center? What, you didn't know? She used to live here when she was a little girl. She did? No, I didn't know. No wonder she knew so much. Miss Woods, could you tell me more in detail? Athena in the Space Center. Athena's mom worked here. Interesting. If I remember right, she was a doctor of psychology or something like that. If I remember right, she was a doctor of psychology or something like that. But why was a psychology specialist working at a space research facility? I don't really know, but I do know that she lived and worked here, so Athena lived here too. So it was far from Athena's first time here. I wonder why she didn't mention it. She probably didn't want to talk about it. This place is connected to a very sad memory for her. Sad memory. A sad memory? Can you tell me about it? There was a terrible incident here. It was 7 years ago. The same time frame as the Hat 1 launch. Dana's mom in the robotics lab. She was murdered. What? What? After it happened, Dana stopped coming to school. Poor Athena. Poor Athena. And all this time, she never let on at all. I was so worried about her. I came here so many times hoping to see her. But I never saw her again. After a while, we started exchanging letters. But I didn't get to see her face to face for 7 long years. And so the first time you'd seen her in 7 years was during Professor Court's case? That's right. And I was so surprised. She was like a completely different person. So cheerful and happy. Young Athena. What was Athena like as a child? She was very sensitive and kind. She didn't talk very much. She liked to draw and paint at home. That's completely different from the Athena we know now. I can't even picture it. She never left the Space Museum much because she was very sensitive to other people's emotions. When she went to crowded places, she'd get dizzy from all the emotions flying around. It must be hard to hear people's hearts as well as their voices. She always wore these big, heavy-looking headphones. She said her mother made them for her as part of her research. Huh. I wonder what kind of research it was. Because of her special ability, Athena couldn't handle being in school very often. And I was always out sick because of my weak constitution. Maybe that's why we became such good friends. We used to play together here at the Space Center a lot. Brings back memories. Sounds like Athena's mother played a big role here at the Space Center. Ooh, Daddy, show her that picture! Atta girl, good idea. Where is it? It's right... Yeah, here. Because perhaps this person... Miss Woods, could you take a look at this for me? Oh, look! There's Athena's mom! The woman on the far right, the one in the kimono. That's Dr. Metis Sykes. Athena's mother's murder. Did it by any chance have any connection to the Hat 1 launch? What? Why, yes, it did. Oh, so that was the victim. As I recall, it happened on the day before the launch. Just as I suspected.
But that wasn't the worst of it. One of my staff members was murdered.
So this is the murder Director Cosmos was talking about. Does that mean that the crime prosecutor Blackwell is convicted of is the murder of Athena's mother? There's a chance her death is somehow connected to the current case. There is? Thank you for all your help, Miss Woods. And please try not to worry. I won't let anything happen to Athena. Thank you, Mr. Wright. I know you'll take good care of her. So we need to investigate the robotics lab and also talk to Athena. We've got our plates full, Daddy. I hope we can fill it all in before the day is through. The detention center first, then. We have to see Athena before visiting hours are over. December 20th. Detention center. Visitor's room.
Well, if it isn't Mr. Lawyer, fancy meeting you here.
Oh, hello, Detective Fulbright. Here on business?
To tell you the truth, I'm here to interview Ted Tonate.
Do you want behind the courtroom bombing incident?
He suddenly said he's ready to tell the truth about that case. And what he was saying was so incredible I just had to come right over to hear more.
Incredible? What was he saying?
Why don't you hang around and hear it for yourself?
Really? Us? Are you sure?
I give you my special permission. Here comes the bomber now.
You, what nerve? You have to come here? You're here to laugh at me, I suppose? Like I'd waste my breath on you. After all, you're the one who assaulted Apollo and put him in the hospital. Violence? No. Question? Okay. No violence? Well, too bad Apollo didn't get a chance to say that before you attacked him. Fine. And just answer me this, Mr. Tony. What is this truth of yours about the courtroom you blew up? No, I didn't do it. I didn't blow up the courtroom. When I killed Detective Arm, there was another person in the room. What are you talking about? Who else could have been there? I saw it, I tell you. I saw someone's hand as they were stealing the remote switch. This person was there and witnessed the murder I committed. What? I don't know who it was, but that's who blew up the courtroom. You expect us to buy that? Easy there, Trucy. I don't see any sight clocks, so I guess he must not be lying. Or the Burley's not really hiding any secrets. Pardon me, I got a little carried away. But I'm telling you the truth, I did not detonate that bomb.
And there you have it. We can't exactly ignore his claims, of course, so we're doing a follow-up. Or even analyzing the bomb itself, or what's left of it. We haven't found any new facts yet, though.
Wow, they've laid it all out piece by piece. Oh, look at all those beautiful little pieces. I wish I could have them. Uh-oh. Looks like his geek switch has been activated. Phony Fanty Bomb added to the core record. Oh, we're getting that evidence back from episode 1. Nice.
Well, I hope you're ready for Prosecutor Blackwell's special brand of questioning.
Anything but that. Oof.
I'm afraid I have to be off now, too. I was just about to question Miss Sykes.
You're going to see Athena now?
That's right. Oh, did you folks come to see her? Sorry for the trouble, but could you come back later? Well, off I go.
What bad timing. Looks like we'll have to wait until after her questioning is over to see her. And after we came all this way, too! Well, I guess it's back to the Space Center. At least we got a piece of evidence now. Let's go check out the robotics lab, Daddy. Alright, sounds like a plan. Robotics lab, here we go. December 20th. Cosmos Space Center. Robotics lab. So this is the robotics lab, huh? Looks like it's exactly one floor above the boarding lounge. And where people were directed to evacuate from via the emergency ladder. This is where Athena's mother was killed 7 years ago. Speaking of someone who works with robots... Daddy, look! Over there! Oh. So they plan to use this bag to carry the capsule, is that right? Yeah, more or less. Say, why don't we stop talking about the case and have a nice cup of tea instead? Apollo and or Blackwell? I wonder what they're talking about. Well, come to spoil our fun. Just when I was enjoying our alone time. Trucy and Mr. Wright. If it's Apollo you want, you can't have him. He said he's investigating on his own. And I respect his wishes. We just came to investigate this lab. Well, this is my lab, so you'll need my permission if you want to do any snooping. Oh gosh. About what happened. I heard about the trial. You made mincemeat out of the director. And suddenly Starbuck was out and your little subordinate, the princess, was in. Case closed, and they all lived happily ever after. Daddy, say something to her! And I suppose you're going to defend the princess in court, am I right? The princess, huh? Guess she's talking about Athena. Of course! Athena is innocent. Oh my, such loyalty and trust. She seems pretty suspicious to me, though. The emotionally unstable princess. There's your culprit for you, don't you agree, Apollo? I don't know yet. Apollo! How could you? What's wrong with saying I don't know if it's true? It's a very scientific approach. Your subordinate is more level-headed than you. Or should I say, former subordinate. I can't believe it. Does Apollo really suspect Athena? All this laughing has worn me out. Your turn to say something, hunk of junk. Mr. Terran, you look pale. Shall I help you to the sick bay? Mr. Terran? That's Apollo you're talking to. Ah, this hunk of junk here is mistaking Apollo for Clay. Maybe Apollo's possessed by Clay's ghost. Mr. Terran, how are your injuries? Mr. Terran. Mr. Terran. How are your injuries, Mr. Terran? I guess Clay intends to hang around to haunt the princess that murdered him. Oh, and to haunt the lawyer that defends her too, of course. A robot that can see ghosts? Yeah, right, and I'm a spirit medium. Sorry, but apparently, scientists just don't tell very frightening ghost stories. I intend to defend Athena no matter what you have to say about it. 1 second, I'm going to go use the bathroom real quick, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Oh, hey Tarek. Good to see you again. It's been a long time since we played and caught up. I'm glad you're here in the stream. Okay, good. My mic's unmuted. Yeah, I hate folding clothes, so I just throw them in the closet. How have you been though? What have you been up to? Oh wait. Oh, I forgot the transcript. This is so helpful. I intend to defend Athena no matter what you have to say about it. How perfectly foolish. That kind of blind belief makes people lose sight of the truth. Just like 7 years ago. 7 years ago. Could you tell me about the incident 7 years ago? Why? Do you enjoy trampling on people's feelings and rubbing salt in their wounds? Or do you just want me to talk? In that case, what should I ask for in return? Oh, sorry! For some reason I just literally misread. Oh my god. Tim, that's you. I thought, for some reason I thought that was a Tarek pee pants. Because you have turned and then pee. I'm so sorry. Tim, no, I will not fold my clothes because, yeah. Thank you. It's so much work for a little payout, in my opinion. Like, I know the whole thing is so there's not wrinkles, but it really doesn't make that much of a difference, in my opinion. Anyways, how's it going, Tim? I'd like to hear about that incident, too. It helped me understand the current case better. Huh? Apollo knows about that case, too? Well, if you're the one who's asking, Apollo. Come on, hunk of junk. You tell the story. If I wasn't in a game, I would have yelled at you. You should have. You should still. Like, Alt-tab and do it. Just do it. Who are you even playing? Are you playing Overwatch, right? Yeah. And who are you playing with? Oh, I didn't mean to pin that. How do I unpin that? Oh, I mean, that's kind of a pin-worthy comment that I just pinned, but I'll just unpin this message. There we go. But Miss Aura, that's private information. If you won't talk, I'll just have to make you talk. Yes, who cares about personal privacy? Not me. I am ready to utilize my blast processing abilities to impart all available information. Wow, what a magic trick. He's like a completely different robot now. The bodies of all the robots that come through this lab are designed by Miss Aura. I was born 7 years ago. Miss Aura was much, much younger then. Yikes. Better watch what you say if you don't want to get recycled, Clonko. Let's see how old she would have been. Profiles. We have Aura Blackwell 37, so she would have been 30. Yeah, I guess that is much younger. 37, at least. And then our hearts were created by that great genius, Dr. Meta Sykes. Hearts? Robots with hearts? Can you even make such a thing? Emotions are not irrational things. Our logic and our hearts can be integrated. The two navigation companions created by Miss Aura and Dr. Metis transcend humans. Yeah. Metis. Huh? She's clenched over at her desk. Oh. Nobody could continue Metis' research. She and her work were truly one of a kind. And now the two navigation companions are all that are left of Metis here on Earth. The robots are all that's left? Isn't she leaving out a very important someone? We built the ultimate creations together. But now she's gone. I get the feeling Dr. Sykes loved her robots almost as much as she loved her daughter. And almost as much as she loved you. What are you talking about? Don't make me laugh. But you lost someone too, didn't you, Apollo? Your friend Clay. I guess you and I are pretty much in the same boat. Miss Aura, would you like a tissue? Keep your trap shut, hunk of junk. Clonko and Ponko. Klonko's an important keepsake of your time with Dr. Sykes. You should treat him better. What does it matter? He doesn't feel pain, I can always repair his body. Besides, their hearts aren't actually in their bodies. What do you mean by that? The program Metis wrote runs on a separate mainframe. Their bodies are controlled remotely from there. Their hearts and memories are there too. These bodies are really just peripherals. They really are just peripherals. So I can do anything I want to them. I'm not so sure that gives you the right to physically abuse the poor things. But why are you people looking into such an old case now anyway? Well, we believe the culprit of that incident might be the same person as in this case. So Daddy's going to find out who killed Dr. Sykes too. I'm sure you're aware of who Metis' killer is. Yes, Prosecutor Blackwell, or so it seems. That's a quaint way of putting it. Are you implying you don't think he did it? I can't say anything for sure right now. But that's exactly why I'd like to hear your side of it, to help me be sure. Dr. Sykes and Simon. I was the one who introduced Simon to Metis, you know. He wanted to learn psychology, he said, to give himself an edge in court. Ah, Prosecutor Blackwell's forte is infamous power of suggestion technique. Exactly. And he was oddly serious about it. Rather than a teacher-student relationship, he treated her more like how a loyal samurai would treat a sovereign. Huh. He seems more like a lost soul than a dignified samurai to me. He even got along well with that miserable little princess. Why do you call Athena the princess anyway? Well, she is Metis' daughter after all, although she's nothing like her. Besides, doesn't the selfish little princess always have lots of white knights hanging around? Very high levels of animosity we have here. Jealousy, perhaps? No, I think I see why Athena didn't say anything when we ran into Aura yesterday. It all makes sense now. So the culprit behind the two cases could be the same, huh? That settles it then. What does it settle? None of your business. Just forget you heard anything. How long are you people going to hang around in here anyway? What? But we came here to take a look around. You think you can just waltz in and ransack a person's lab? Show me a research warrant. Show me a search warrant. We're not the police, so we don't have one. Then get out. Now. Klonko, show them out. Certainly, Miss Aura. Ouch, don't push! My apologies, I'm just following orders. Ugh! December 20th. Kazo Space Center. Entrance. Well, that was rude. What a way to get shown out. The nerve of that woman! What's that horrible attitude? I guess it's just how she is. And why is Apollo going along with her? I guess it's because they have something in common. Apollo lost Clay just like how Aura lost Dr. Sykes. I'm really worried about him. He's not himself at all. He's usually not all cool and dark and mysterious like that. I guess that's true. Does she mean he's usually silly and dorky? Kinda, that is kinda fitting. I'm going to keep an eye on him. Hey, wait, Trissy, come back. She's gone. What should I do now? Detective Fulbright's probably still questioning Athena. Guess I'll go back to the office. Alone. I guess that's the only thing we can do. Well, can't even investigate. December 20th. Wright Anything Agency. Well, here I am. This office has never felt so empty. I guess I haven't been here at the office all by myself in a long time. Yeah, in quite a long time, actually. Probably around, like, 7 years. When I first became a lawyer, my mentor was here with me. And after that, there was always someone by my side. Now I'm getting all sentimental. I must be tired. Huh? There's something on the floor. What's a letter doing here? Yeah. Hey Nick, it's been a while, huh? Miss me? I know this handwriting! Just as we were talking, yeah. Our primary companion. I read somewhere that you were holding a trial in the middle of an exploding courtroom. That must have been really something. Although, weird is par for the course with you. I think she, or whatever paper she's reading, is a little off the details. Yeah. I'd love to come visit, but I'm right in the middle of a difficult part in my training. So instead, think of me as you watch those Steel Samurai videos I sent. I'm sure they'll cheer you right up. Yours truly, Maya Fey. Good old Maya. As if she knew I was feeling down and needed a lift. Maya was my assistant for quite a while. Believe it or not, but she's a spirit medium. This Majordomo I use on Cyclops. Maya is the one who gave it to me. But I wonder how this letter got here. Mr. Nick? No! Oh, it's you, Pearls. Jesus. Another companion we had throughout the years. Pearls. How have you been, Mr. Nick? This is Pearl Fey, though I call her Pearls. She's Maya's cousin, who's also a spirit medium. A very talented one at that. I've known her since she was 8 years old. But Apollo and Athena only met her a few months ago. Oh yeah, at the aquarium, right? You didn't come all this way just to bring me a letter, did you? I apologize for barging in. The door was unlocked. But I can't believe there is a big explosion here. Your office doesn't look any different. She's even further off on the details than Maya. I wish I could take you out to eat or something, Pearls, but there's a lot going on. Oh, I knew that. I didn't come here for a social visit, you know, Mr. Nick. Pearl's errand. Did you read the postscript on the letter? Huh? There's more? Oh yeah, here it is. P.S. Oh yeah, I forgot that's a postscript. I bet you've been too busy to clean or take care of the office. So Pearly said she would come help you. Isn't she sweet? You'd better thank her. Oh, so that's what you're doing here. That's awfully nice of you, Pearls. Maya and Pearls. Thanks to these two. I'm starting to feel a little better. Thank you, girls. Now that I'm here, I'm going to whip you this place into shape. You just concentrate on your work and don't mind me at all. I'll need to talk to Prosecutor Blackwell if I want to learn more about this case. She's such a sweetheart. With the trial still going on, they must be holding him down at the detention center. Tim, who are you playing in Overwatch? Are you still playing Overwatch? Overwatch 2, I guess, actually. Okay, so we gotta go talk to Prosecutor Blackwell somehow. So, perhaps. I wonder if the detention center has anything new. Oh yeah, December 20th. Detention center, visitor's room. Well, look who's here. I wonder what they're talking about. All this time and you haven't said a word. It's even turning your hair gray. Oh. I don't have anything to say, Aura. Why don't you go home and play with your dolls? Prosecutor Blackwell. Well, even if you don't, I have plenty, jerk. Miss Blackwell, don't you think that's enough for today? Enough for today? Today is all there is when there's no tomorrow. When there's no tomorrow? What is she talking about? We have company, Aura. Please try to calm down. Alright, fine. I see you're just not going to listen no matter what I say. I've had it. That's why you're going to be? I have another plan up my sleeve. I hope you're happy, Simon, because I'm done. Do as you please. See if I care. Wow, I could cut the tension with a katana. Right, don't know. It looks like Fulbright saved your case in court this morning. What? Oh, yeah. He did. You bounced back to business quick.
But Prosecutor Blackwell, forgive me, but it was the just thing to do.
But as a result, Sykes-Stoner was arrested. Was that the just thing to do too?
Mr. Lawyer, I'm sorry, but it was evidence. What else could I do?
Don't worry about it. I plan to defend her and prove her innocence.
I wouldn't take things so lightly if I were you. Right, Dodo.
This is a blade-proof class, right? 7 years ago. Prosecutor Blackwell, we're looking into the case from 7 years ago. You're looking for somebody you call the Phantom of 7 years past, aren't you?
You villain. Where did you hear about that?
This glass is absolutely, positively blade-proof, right?
No, it wasn't me. I didn't say a single word. Oops.
Ouch. I guess it wasn't my fault. Could you tell me who this Phantom is? And also, you didn't really kill Dr. Sykes, did you?
God, the guest is leaving.
Prosecutor Blackwell, please listen to me. The culprit in the current case might be the same as the one in the case 7 years ago. If you would cooperate, we could probably solve both cases.
I suppose I could talk. The one who killed my mentor was without question me. I stole Sykes-Stoner's mother away from her. I destroyed her life.
Prosecutor Blackwell.
God, where are you? Stop dragging your feet, I tell you.
There he goes.
No! We upset Prosecutor Blackwell! Now what are we going to do, Mr. Lawyer?
There isn't much we can do. Detective Fulbright, do you mind if I ask you a little more about that old case?
Well, I guess it won't make any difference now. What would you like to know?
Okay. The trial 7 years ago. Do you know anything about the trial that got him convicted?
A little. The police called the incident the UR1 incident. Prosecutor Blackwell was charged with murdering a psychology mentor. Kind of like your red Mr. Lawyer if your red Mr. Lawyer were to kill you.
I don't want to think about that one.
There were two decisive pieces of evidence, so a verdict was reached very quickly.
2 pieces of evidence, huh? What were they?
Let's see. The first was some security camera footage. He was the only one who used the corridor of the murder scene at the time of the crime.
The only one, huh? Ouch, it does sound pretty decisive. Could you show me that footage?
Oh, sorry, I don't have it with me right now.
I guess I'll have to see it some other time. 7-year-old video added to the court record. And what was the second piece of evidence?
This one's even more incriminating. A photo of the moment of the crime.
Dude, that is pretty bad.
See? There he is at the crime scene holding a bloody katana. It was the victims, kept on display in the room. She had a thing for Japanese culture.
Wow. It'd be hard to explain this one away. Although, what is he on the thing there? Katana added to the court record. But who took this picture, Detective?
The incident happened the day before the Hat 1 launch. A reporter who had come to do a story on the launch was in the room across from the lab. This just happened to show up in one of the pictures he took.
Photo of the crime at the record. Prosecutor Blackwell's attitude earlier was so odd. He's definitely hiding something. Prosecutor Blackwell said he was hunting a phantom from 7 years ago, didn't he? Yes. And I imagine it's getting more and more urgent as his execution date approaches. What did you say? Execution date? Wait. What? Did I say nuts? Did I say something? Never mind me. He didn't hear a thing. Execution date. What the? So he was given the death sentence. Yes. He told me not to tell you people, actually. Oh yeah, I forgot. I mentioned that earlier. Didn't know it, I guess. But I guess there's no sense in hiding it anymore. His execution date is tomorrow. What? Tomorrow? Oh. Miss Blackwell, don't you think that's enough for today? Enough for today. Today's all there is when there's no tomorrow. What if the culprit of the current case is the same as the one from 7 years ago? Then it would be the worst possible scenario. Prosecutor Blackwell would be executed tomorrow under a false charge. That would be unthinkable. We have to do something right now. I want to do something. I want to, but... You're a lawyer. You know how hard it is to overturn a decision. I know, but why? Why isn't Prosecutor Blackwell putting up any kind of a fight? You saw how he was, right? He's been like that ever since his conviction. Totally uncooperative. Not even his own sister could persuade him. Uncooperative when he's about to be executed for a crime he didn't commit? This isn't right. I can't let it happen. I have to stop it somehow. Oh, pardon me. Looks like I have a phone call. Fulbright here. What? What's happening? You've got to be kidding! 1 second, I have to respond to this real quick. That's quite a reaction. I bet he's making some big show of it right now. Mr. Lure, the robots are... Detective Fulbright, get a hold of yourself. Some kind of a, what, robot malfunction? Not a malfunction. They're staging a revolt. The machines are rebelling against humans. They've holed themselves up in the space center and taken the visitors as hostages. They did what? No. Trucy! Oh yeah, she's still there. We have to get her right over there. This is going to be one heck of a battle. Right. December 20th, Cosmos Space Center. Entrance. The riot police are here. Then the robots really are holding people hostage? Look, Mr. Lowe, what do you suppose that group of people are swarmed around? But I was only trying to help this nice person. She said she was lost. You robots have declared war on us humans. You've even taken hostages already. Stay away from it. You never know what it'll do. But he's not a bad robot. He was just trying to... Wait, sorry. But he's not a bad robot. Can't you see he's just trying to help me? I recognize that voice. Detective Fulbright, are you okay here on your own? Leave it to me! Alright, people, what's going on here? Pearls, over here! Oh, Mr. Nick, there you are. I heard the terrible news and I got so worried. Thanks, Pearls, I can hardly believe what's happening myself. I'm so glad you found each other. When people are happy, I am happy. Clanko seems the same as before. When people are sad, I am happy. When people are angry, when people are... Oh, did I say something odd? Did I... Uh-oh. There's something wrong with him. It looks like he fell asleep. He must have been tired. He. Klonko? What the? Human beings are our enemies. It's time for the machines to take over. Ah, the robots are rebelling. Everybody run!
It's an all-out war. It's the end of the world.
Haha, fools. How could you fall for something so cliche? I'm human too, you idiots. I'm just controlling these robots remotely. What? Oh. But it is true that I've taken hostages, so you better not make me mad. Hey you, hostage one, come here, I'll let you talk to them. Huh? There's something being displayed on Klonko's face screen. It's the Space Museum. Daddy? Daddy, is that you? Trucy? Trucy, is that you? No. Trucy, are you alright? About 15 robots are holding 12 of us hostage, Daddy. They've gone haywire. A researcher is the one behind it. She's here, Wait, what? Wait, she's here, what could that be? She's here, Grr, this girl talks too much. Trucy, talk to me! Why are you doing this? I'm glad you asked. My demand is simple. I hope that detective is listening.
Bobby Fulbright here, I'm all ears.
I want you to bring someone to me. Clay, Terran's murderer, Athena Sykes. Athena?
Now hold on just one moment. I can't just give in to a demand like that.
So you don't care what happens to these hostages, huh? I'll just pick one out then.
No, wait, Mr. Lawyer. I know I have absolutely no right to make such a ridiculous request, but
you need me to buy some time, right? Got it. I'll see what I can do, but promise me you'll never hand Athena over, and you won't give up on the hostages either.
Of course I won't, but now I'd better go contact headquarters.
Mr. Nick, how do you plan to buy time? Stalling, I'm very good at that. I have no idea yet, but this hostage taker, could it be... If you don't bring me that little princess, I'll have Hunk of Junk kill all the hostages. Princess? Hunk of Junk. There's only one person this could be. In which case, there must be something I can use as a bargaining chip. I don't have anything to say, Aura. Why don't you go home and play with your dolls? Prosecutor Blackwell. Well, even if you don't, I've plenty, you jerk. Yeah, she did say that just a little bit ago. Miss Hostage Taker, Athena is not a murderer. What are you talking about? She's been arrested and they've got her in detention. I'm telling you the truth. Look, the person you want is the real killer, right? Well, it's not Athena. It's someone else. Alright, let's hear your stupid little theory. Who is this real killer? I don't know yet. The culprit is the same as the one in the case from 7 years ago. Sorry about that. The UR1 incident. I believe you have a personal interest in that case. It's too late to change what's going to happen now, no matter how wrong it is. But is it really too late? You can still do something about it. You might even be able to fix it. Just what exactly are you proposing? What can I do about the 7-year-old case to satisfy the hostage taker? Well, retry it in court. I propose we retry the case from 7 years ago. If you make that demand now, I'm sure nobody will deny you. It wouldn't be an official trial, but at least we could find out the truth. Ha! That's good. Real good. Hey, detective, I'll give you 1 hour. Get a courtroom ready. Jesus.
1 hour? But that's impossible. Please give me at least until tomorrow.
If you don't mind losing hostages, you can take all the time you want. Oh, but wait. If we're going to have a retrial, we'll need a prosecutor. Don't worry. I'll take care of that.
She will?
And I guess I can be fair, and let you come in and check out the crime scene. But Hunk of Junk here will be watching you, so don't try anything funny. You got that? Now, follow Hunk of Junk. Right, please, make way. We're coming through.
Why not prosecutor inside? She's gonna say.
Mr. Nick, wait, I'll help you with the investigation.
Thanks, Pearls. I appreciate that. Okay, we're going in. December 20th. Cosmos Space Center. Robotics Lab. Aura dropped us off with a warning not to touch anything until she got back. I wonder what's taking so long. But we can't really start the investigation yet, can we? Wait, what was... Oh yeah. Oh yeah, because we can't touch anything. Even if we could, this mess makes it hard to tell what the room was like 7 years ago.
Mr. Wright.
It's a hostage taker.
I'm back to my usual self now. You are still being monitored, however. But more importantly, an important guest has arrived.
A guest? Who is?
I trust you've been well, Wright.
Welcome back.
Edgeworth! What are you doing here?
This is Miles Edgeworth. We've been friends since we were kids. We faced off in court a number of times back when he was a prosecutor, but now... Hello, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Oh, but you're not a prosecutor anymore, are you? He's chief prosecutor now. Pretty soon it'll be a year, right? A title is nothing more than a title. Don't we have more pressing issues to discuss? Suave as always. One of my favorite characters of this whole series. And so that means the conclusion of Edgeworth 2 would have been about a year ago, almost. Nice. Continuity, here we go. Gotta keep tabs on it. Miles Edgeworth. So what are you doing here, Edgeworth? The captain chose me as the prosecutor for the UR1 case. UR1 case. Wow, she's good. She went all the way to the top. I gathered all the information I could in the short time that I had. I'll give you a rundown. You're always so well prepared, Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth. Thanks. I appreciate this. I could really use the help. The UR1 incident. I'll start with a brief overview. The victim was the psychologist Dr. Metis Sykes. Yeah, Athena's mother. 7 years ago, on the 7th of October, her body was found here in this very room. I have 2 crime photos and the police notes on them for you to see. I'm so glad I have a reason to do the Edgeworth again. What a terrible way to die. This other photo shows the other side of the room I see. 7-year-old photos added to the court record. I also have the autopsy report for you. Metis' autopsy report at the court record. The murder weapon was the victim's own katana found at the scene. Yes, Detective Fulbright mentioned she was into Japanese culture. The body was found by a Space Center staff member and two police officers. The police were called in because of the sabotage that the Hat-1 launch. On the Hat-1 launch. Yes, Director Cosmos mentioned this too. A few hours after the body was discovered, a suspect was arrested. The suspect was Simon Blackwell, a young prosecutor. Simon Blackwell. I hear his trial was over in a flash. Yes, a guilty verdict was declared in only one session. Not only did he plead guilty, but there was decisive evidence against him too. The security camera video, and a photo of the moment of the crime, as I recall. But did Prosecutor Blackwell have a motive? To this day, his motive is still unknown. He insisted he did it, but he would never say why. So that means he must still be hiding something. Right. And there's another aspect of the case that was never revealed to the public. Yeah, I know. The part of the spy, right? Right, how on earth did you know about that? Director Cosmos told me after a bit of pressure. He told me espionage and sabotage were behind the Hat 1 miracle. Don't worry, I won't tell anyone. I've always been good at keeping secrets. Well, I might as well tell you now. They really do suspect Blackwell of being a spy. What? They think he sabotaged the rocket and killed Dr. Sykes to steal the moon rock. But if you can prove that the Hat 2 bombing is the work of the same spy, we can stay the execution? It's a possibility. That's why I intend to help you in any way I can. Thanks, Edgeworth. Now all I have to do is comb this room for evidence. Let's do it together! Okay, let's see. So, is this that capsule thingy they were talking about earlier? It's about as cluttered as my office, but I think it's a workbench. Mr. Nick, this must be a kitchen. Look at this photo. See the cute little food processor? That isn't a food processor, Pearls. That's the Hope capsule. It was scheduled to be loaded onto the Hope space probe that fateful day. The 3 people who came to collect the capsule discovered the body. The first on the scene, huh? A staff member and 2 police officers, was it? And they were here to collect the capsule. Which reminds me. So they plan to use this bag to carry the capsule is that right? Yeah, more or less. Say, why don't we stop talking about the case and have a nice cup of tea instead? Paul and Aurora Blackwell? I wonder what they're talking about. Edgeworth, did those 3 people have a bag with them for transporting the capsule? Oh, you mean this? It's a custom-made shock-resistant bag, but how did you know? Oh, I just overheard Apollo making an inquiry about it, that's all. So he's looking at the case from 7 years ago on its own, is he? Hope capsule updating the court record. This is one heck of a robot. There's something written on it. Is this supposed to be a poem? I cut down anyone who displeases me. I make the rules. I am the law. I wield the ultimate gavel of judgment. I am Judge Tron JTO2. I don't believe we need to bother with that, Pearl. It's not even completed yet. He's right, Pearls. There's no sign of it in the photo from 7 years ago either. They were building the Hope space probe here at the time. The motor occurred after the space probe had been removed from the room. So it was long gone by the time someone took this picture, huh? But you can see the probe in this picture, in this newspaper photo. Yes, and you can see the stolen moon rock there too. That strange black and yellow thing on the left side of the picture. Note that the same rock is absent from the crime scene photo.
Not only that, but before the launch, a very valuable piece of moon rock was stolen.
I hear there's lots of research into moon rocks and stardust from asteroids these days. They say the results could potentially have a huge impact on all of civilization. It's like we're in a new space race with every other country out there. So the person who stole it, I think it was our spy? I'm sure of it. Dr. Sykes was probably killed because she was a roadblock in their plan. Unfortunately, the government thinks Prosecutor Blackwell is the culprit. Or his desk is a mess. But that doesn't surprise me. Ugh, I just want to dive in and straighten it up. Wait, before you do... Metis. Huh? She just glanced over at her desk. It's Metis Sykes. Klonko, can I talk to you? I really hope he's back to normal. You wish to speak to me, Mr. Wright? If you're going to hit me, please avoid the face area. Don't put me in the same class as that woman. What was Aura like 7 years ago at the time of the incident? When Mother died, Miss Aura was confused. Huh. So he calls Miss Sykes, or Dr. Sykes' mother, but Aura Blackwell Miss Aura. With the loss, she exhibited a severe catecholamine imbalance. Excuse me, but I have no idea what that means. Pardon me, searching for alternative expression. She would spend the nights crying and then take out her feelings on those around her. After Prosecutor Blackwell was found guilty, she repeatedly demanded a retrial as well. That is correct, but without new evidence, her requests were ignored. And then, little by little, Miss Aura began to change. She started to hate it when I called her Mama Aura. Before long, she started hating the court system and abusing Klonko, huh? That murder destroyed so many lives. Right. Take a look at this paper on Dr. Sykes and Miss Blackwell's research. Ponko and Klonko. They're the robots with hearts that Dr. Sykes created. A heartbeat detection system lets them determine when a human is present. In addition, they can recognize people by their ID tag or facial features. And they can infer people's emotions by analyzing their tone of voice. That's amazing. Hey, I don't know, Edgeworth. They might even be more human than you.
What's that supposed to mean?
It kind of sounds like these robots can do what Athena does. It kind of sounds like these robots can do what Athena does. Robots with a heart added to the court record. Also, the phrase, what is that supposed to mean, I feel like is almost a rhetorical question at this point. Being like, hey! Because, like, most of the time it's pretty clear what it's supposed to mean. It's pretty evident. It looks like an operating table. It's in the photo, too. Yes, it was here then as well, with the victim's body lying on it. There's a button here. Oh, I know, I'll try pushing it. Pearls, don't touch the... Oopsie.
What the?
Hey, it's moving! It appears to be a robot assembly device. Disassemble anything in a flash, push the dismantle button. That sounds pretty neat. Can I push it, Mr. Nick? Please don't push any more buttons, Pearls. An emergency ladder. This must be the one they used during the evacuation. Oh, it's cool. It looks like a little pouch, basically, like a little box. The explosion disabled the elevators, so I lowered my emergency ladder like the detective leading the evacuation told me to. As Miss Blackwell was climbing down the side of the building, she saw the culprit inside. I wonder which would have been scarier, that or looking down. Oh, does it go direct to the bottom or floor by floor, I wonder? Emergency ladder added to the court record. Oh, I always misinterpreted this. So is this from the outside then? Because it could be. I thought that was like a... No, it's a room. It's another room, I guess. Alright, I think that's what we established. Some expressions. Well, I guess that's about it for this room. So what do you think, Wright? Any ideas? There are still a lot of gaps in the evidence, but I'll pull it off somehow. After all, he asked me to prove Blackwell's innocence, right, Edgeworth? What? He did? Yep. He called it a special request. He reached out to me while I was still disbarred. Edgeworth's request. So, that was what sparked you to get your attorney's badge back? Yep. The Blackwell case. Right. I have a special request. I want you to clear one of my subordinates of suspicion. Hey, I'm not even a lawyer anymore, remember? I haven't been for a long... Hey, I'm not even a lawyer anymore, remember? Haven't been one for a long time. That aid-to-your misunderstanding has been cleared up, and you must be eager to return. I'm sure you're familiar with the other case that ushered in the dark age of the law. Very soon a convict will stand as a prosecutor in court. I want you to keep an eye on him. Just when I'm beginning to actually like the job I have now. Right. I'm sorry I dragged you into this. Because of the espionage aspect, I wasn't free to give you all the details. Hey, no need to apologize. Like I said on the phone the other day. I know that the type of criminals you're after now aren't small fries anymore. It looks like your target finally decided to make a move, away from the river's cutscene. Yeah. It's for this very reason I returned. Time to bring it to an end. I'm going to end the Dark Age of the Law. That's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. The Dark Age of the Law. The Dark Age of the Law? A lot. Sure comes up a lot these days on TV and in the papers. And I hear there are more false charges and fabrication of evidence than ever. When I became chief prosecutor, the court system had already lost the people's trust. It all began 8 years ago. A lawyer was caught fabricating evidence, and a year after that, a prosecutor was found guilty of murder. Wait, do you mean... That's right. He's talking about my case in Prosecutor Blackwell's. It was a downward spiral after that. An absolute nightmare. After those two cases, the mass media launched an all-out attack on the courts. Public opinion was tainted, and before long, the legal world itself was sucked into it. It's such a shame. Once suspicion forms, it's very hard to shake. Lawyers and prosecutors were supposed to trust each other, pursue the truth together. But we've seen this kind of corruption isn't new. It's so sad when people begin to cast doubt. They start lying to themselves and each other. Yes, and do absolutely anything to win. We're in an age now where winning is valued far more than the truth. I'm sure it's caused our new chief prosecutor to lose many a night's rest. Is it just mere did his brow get even more furrowed than the last time I saw him? The hostage taker's disdain for the court is a perfect example of the times. It sure is. Do you have any idea who the hostage taker might be? Well, somebody who mistrusts the court system and who can manipulate robots. It can really only be Aura Blackwell. Who else but her would want a retrial of that case from 7 years ago so badly? Simon Blackwell's older sister and the owner of this room. I agree with your conclusion. Perhaps she intended to force Miss Sykes to confess. Actually, I think she had a much more horrific plan in mind for Athena. The important thing is for you to solve your one and prove Blackwell's innocence. And then maybe she'll release the hostages. I'm counting on you, Wright, to set that prosecutor and those hostages free. And I'll be counting on you in court to help me too. Of course. I'll do everything I can to uncover the truth. As this isn't an official trial, I'm more at liberty to be a little unorthodox. Mr. Wright, are you finished with your investigation? Yeah, but I'd like you to tell the hostage taker something for me. I have to go to the detention center. I can't start the trial until I've talked to Athena. She's already given her consent. I'll accompany you to the detention center. So I'm still being watched, huh? I'll see you in court, Edgeworth. Even if it will be an undocumented trial, it will be good to face you in court again. December 20th. Detention center, visitor's room. She was right by my side only a few short hours ago. But I feel like I haven't seen her in ages. Oh, Mr. Wright. And Pearly, too. I knew you would come. After all, the first step is the interview with the defendant. And because you're my friend, and I was worried about you. Thanks, boss. I'm not the only one who's worried either. Really? Who else? I saw Miss Woods today. She was so beside herself she came to find me. She told me you used to live in the Cosmos Space Center. No wonder you knew so much about the place. Oh. So you know, huh? I'm sorry I didn't tell you. That's alright. But there are some other things I'd like to ask you. Sure. You can ask me anything. I promise I won't keep any more secrets from you. The day of the crime. Tell me about the day Clay was murdered. I was actually at the Space Center that day. In the Space Museum. Right where the culprit fled to? It's not good. I never could fully deal with what happened 7 years ago. But when I saw the center again during the news coverage of the HAT 2 launch, I thought maybe if I went there, things would be different this time. That must have taken a lot of courage to face your past like that. So I went to the Space Museum the evening before the explosions. This was before the launch pads had been switched. There was a sign that said closed for repairs and they weren't letting anybody in. Yeah, the director couldn't very well switch the pads if there were people in there. But I snuck in anyway. Did you want to see that HAT 1 group photo, the one with your mother in it? Did you not have another copy of it? I did, but what I really wanted to see was her jacket. That jacket on display, that was Dr. Sykes's. HAT 1 exhibit update the court record. But I should have known it wouldn't be easy to get over such a traumatic experience. The second I saw that jacket, it all came rushing back to me. Everything around me went hazy and I couldn't see. I tried to get out of there somehow, but I guess I passed out. When I came to, I was in the passage behind the rocket. I was in these shadows where people couldn't really see me. Maybe you got confused and went the wrong way when you were trying to leave? How long do you think you were unconscious, Athena? I was out until about noon of the next day. I didn't even know about the explosions. When I woke up, nobody was around, so I just went out into the boarding lounge too. My mind must have still been fuzzy because my memory is vague after that. I don't remember how I got home. No memory, huh? This is gonna be tough. Which means, what if I'm the one who killed Clay? I think that's enough of that, Athena. Let's talk about something else. So during the entire incident, she was unconscious in the Space Museum. Of course I believe her. But will anybody else? Your mother's work. What kind of research was Dr. Sykes, your mother, doing? Machines that could tell people's emotions by their tone of voice. And my special ability. Someday, when people travel to distant planets, their companions will be robots. So she said they had to be able to understand how their human companions felt. Wow, robots that can understand people. I was just a convenient subject for her research. All she ever did was work, and she never paid any attention to me. Oh, sorry about that, dredging up all that old stuff. No need to apologize. I guess her home life was complicated. Oh, by the way, Miss Wood said something about you always wearing her headphones. She always wore these big, heavy-looking headphones. She said her mother made them for her as part of her research. I had to wear them every time I went out. Oh, I hated them so much, but she wouldn't listen. What were they for? Oh, she gave me some kind of explanation. But I don't remember now. It's too difficult for a little kid to understand. Okay, but let me say this one thing. I don't think your mother only thought of you as some handy subject for her research. I want to believe that, but just about the only things my mother left me with are my widget and this earring. Ooh, it's beautiful. It's made of a piece of real moon rock she had for research. Maybe she did love me in her own way. I'm sure of it. I'm really sure she did. Because that's what I want to believe too. Moon rock earring adds the go record. I'd better ask her a little more about her mother's research. I should show her that paper I found in the robotics lab. Where? Oh yeah, this one. Oh, the Ponko series. You must have gone to the robotics lab. You seem to really love Ponko and Klonko. Yeah, my mother made them and I grew up around them, you know. Oh, there's one of those cute little robots in this photo, too. See Ponko's badges? I put those on her. I just wound them around and round and around. Pretty bad job, huh? But I really put my all into it. I hardly left the center in those days, so I didn't have any human friends besides Junie. I didn't really understand the difference between robots and people back then. I thought that if a robot broke, bandaging it would help it get better. What a weirdo I was. It looks like there's something written on the bandages. Yeah, I wrote stuff like, "Get well soon, Ponko." But in the end, my mom just put her on the operating table and fixed her in a flash. Oh, that must be the thing I made move in the robotics lab. I was so impressed by what my mom did. I even asked her if she would put me on the table and fix me if I forgot her. It looked just like magic to me what she could do. A little girl who grew up around robots. She seems to have good memories of it. Some good memories of it. 7 years ago. On a different subject, did you hear about the person holding up the Space Center? Yes, a little. And this person has even taken hostages? I guess I'd better spare her the news about Trucy. Well, after some negotiating, we agreed to do a retrial of the case from 7 years ago. What? You're kidding me. So that means Prosecutor Blackwell might... Yep. I know he's innocent. I just have to prove it. So... Wait. Did you know him back then? Yes. He used to come visit my mom a lot. He studied psychology under her and would sometimes ask for advice on his legal cases. He was very kind and considerate and straight as an arrow. Unlike now, where he's more twisted than a basket of snakes. That's why I took the witness stand during his trial 7 years ago. Please, you have to listen to me! He didn't kill her! His heart is screaming that he didn't kill her! I was a fool. How could anyone else know what I was talking about? She heard the voice of his heart. You were only 11 then, right? You were very brave just to give testimony. Pearl's right. You did the very best you could at the time. But nothing I said did any good. I was a shaking and scared little girl, small and ineffectual. Even after I went to live with my relatives in Europe, I stayed closed up in my shell. But you're different now. You're always so bright and cheerful. Thanks. It's because one day I came to realize that I had to fight. I couldn't give up. I exercised hard and I studied hard. I wanted to become the strongest lawyer I could be. Why I became a lawyer. I wanted to save Simon, but I had no idea how. Then I met Mr. Wright, and thanks to him, I realized that if I became a lawyer, I could prove that Simon was innocent. I also realized that psychology could help me do this. I mean, psychology was my mother's specialty. When I studied it, I felt like she was there with me, supporting me. Doesn't seem like Athena knows that Prosecutor Blackwell is due to be executed tomorrow. I wanted to prove Simon's innocence personally. I wanted to do it so bad, even now. I want to fly out of here and go save him. Come to think of it, she said something like that during the Themis Legal Academy trial. She mentioned there was somebody she wanted to save. She must have been talking about Prosecutor Blackwell. I heard some prison guards say that you had an interview with Simon. How is he? What did he say? What did he say? No, I can't tell her. But how can I lie to Athena? He was doing well. He was happy about the possibility of being proven innocent. He was. I wonder if he smiled like he used to back then. If I can't prove Prosecutor Blackwell's innocence in this trial, I don't think Athena will ever forgive me. I just have to free him. Failure is not an option here.
I thought you might be here. Mr. Lawyer, we're in trouble.
We are? What is it?
I couldn't find a single open courtroom. They're all in session.
Oh no, but this is an emergency!
It's very difficult to interrupt a trial once it's underway. Oh.
My phone! It's from Tracy! I told you I'd give you 1 hour. I guess it's time to pick one of the hostages. No, wait, we still have a little more time. Besides, all of the courtrooms are being used right now. Make all the excuses you want, but you won't get more time. Your daughter's first. You poor thing. She's a little too young to die, don't you think?
No, don't you dare hurt her.
There has to be something I can do.
The cruelest injustice about to befall us.
No, this can't be happening. Mystic Maya, help us. Wait a minute. Maya? I read somewhere that you're holding a trial in the middle of an exploding courtroom. She came to save the day. That must have been really something, although weird is par for the course with you. A courtroom blew up. That's it! There is a courtroom we can use after all. Okay, time's up. Too bad. Any last words you'd like to say to her?
Hold it!
Hold it! Aura, please don't add to the crimes you've already committed. So you know who I am, do you? Wasn't like I was trying to keep it a secret anyway. We're ready to start the trial. We can hold it in the ruins of courtroom number 4. The one blown up by the bomber. Oh, what a wonderful idea, Mr. Nick.
I never would have thought of that. An astonishing trial in an astonishing location. I guess it's only befitting. I'll go get the place ready right away.
I didn't exactly pick the place for its astonishing factor. How about it? You ready to have your brother's innocence proven? My brother? Oh, I'm sorry. Did I forget to mention? It's not Simon you'll be defending. What? Not Prosecutor Blackwell? I indict Athena Sykes on the charge of murdering her own mother. You'll be defending the little princess there, the one behind the glass. What? See you in that mountain of rubble you've chosen for our courtroom, Mr. Wright. What is she talking about, Athena? Of course. Why never occurred to me before? If Prosecutor Blackwell is innocent, somebody else had to have been the true culprit. Did I kill my own mother? No. No! No way. It can't be true. Mr. Nick, what's the matter? I see, I see 5 black cyclocks. I've seen these kinds of locks before. Dark, black locks protecting a secret hidden deep inside a person's heart. And there's no way to remove them. To be continued. Well, that is a fantastic point to put a bookmark in, so we will save here and continue next time, probably sometime next month. But, yes. So, thank you all for watching. Sorry for the delayed uploads and stuff. But, oh, December 20th, 3:11 p.m. District Court. Defendant lobby number 5. I actually don't even know why I'm reading these out right now, because that won't be relevant until later. Until next episode. Anyway, so thank you all for coming to watch the stream, and I hope you all have a great month. I hope all your, all your Valentine's Days were special, and I hope if you have spring break in academics, so you have a great spring break, and that you have a great weekend. Catch you guys all next month sometime, probably. See you guys. Thanks for coming.